Cheers, man.
Cheers, Keith.
Cheers, Keith. Happy birthday,
Happy
bro.
birthday to you, man.
Happy birthday. Fuck. Sad that you're not here to celebrate. Would have been cool if you were here in the States. Not that it's really cool in the valley right now. It is hot as balls. Woo!
Yeah.
Well, before we start, I wanted to propose something. I wanted to ceremoniously put our first sticker on my thermos. So you mind if we take some time to do that?
No way.
Yeah,
Dude,
right here.
Show that to the camera.
See? Boom.
Oh my
right
god.
Here.
Show it.
That's your
Oh
camera.
my god.
Right here.
That's
Holy
us, guys.
shit.
That's
Oh my
us.
god. I'm jealous.
Oh, it's
Okay.
so good.
All right, here
I'm
we
gonna
go.
be slapping that shit everywhere.
That's us, man.
You know how
Yeah,
like
I'm-
Miles Morales in that Spider-Man movie, he was literally slapping shit everywhere in that movie. And he was like fucking like road signs and shit. Oh my god, I would do that.
All right,
I'm
here
jealous.
it is. Here it
look
is,
at
guys.
Oh my
Okay.
god, ceremonious right here. Oh.
Boom. Boom. So,
Wow.
Indescendants. Boom. Right.
Oh my god.
What a surprise, man. That's so cool.
And this is the only sticker that's going on here. So,
Hey man,
Fair enough.
if it's only one sticker, I'm glad it's that one.
okay.
But you know, it's common. You know, I see a lot of people place stickers on their Hydro Flask.
Yeah.
You know, like,
I'm not-
just to personalize
Yeah,
it, obviously, because that way you know which one's yours.
True.
Right?
Especially if you're
So,
around at work or
What
whatever.
better way to like get people to be like, "Ooh, why don't you go
What's
ahead?"
that?
And,
Yeah.
what's that? That looks like a pretty dope sticker. Or at least the people who know us, like, be like, "Hey, slap my sticker on your Hydro Flask
Yeah.
if you don't mind."
Yeah.
all right.
I
here
want
it
to.
is.
I do it anyway without their
Boom.
permission.
Here it is, people. The first ever
Hey.
Indescendants sticker. And here it is. On
Oh
camera.
wow, I'm fucking jealous.
That's us, guys.
Oh man,
Uh,
I gotta have one. So if once I get a car, I'm putting it on there. you know. I mean,
yeah,
I
I'm
have
gonna
a
mail
car,
it to you
but,
guys
like,
this weekend.
Fuck.
Oh my
yes. I'm jealous.
I'll put it on my,
I'm really jealous. Like I really want that sticker. If you have a Hydro Flask, I am placing one on your Hydro Flask. You better believe it.
Yeah.
When you see one slapped on there, you'll know who put it on. It was me.
Oh,
man. That's cool. man.
Sponsors, and this podcast is unofficially brought to you by Ancient Nutrition Bone Broth Protein. And then
I've seen that before.
what do you
Good
guys
stuff.
have over there? What drinks do you have?
We've got
We got this very Nordic looking beer, Einstock. It's a porter. Now, we don't normally drink a porter. It's like one of our lesser known beers, right?
it's a dark beer. Yeah.
It's a dark beer.
On
I
a
think
hot
it's
day
a-
like
a
this,
dark
it's
beer.
that's kind of
Dark-
a wrong choice,
dark
but
beer.
it's good. It's not that dark.
Dark beer.
It's dark.
And you guys, you might notice that we have a new table now. We got a new table for free
Moving
off
on up.
Craigslist.
Moving on.
This
up.
is a solid wood. I don't even know what kind of wood it is, but it's dense AF. It is hard. It is heavy. I needed Jason to get it. This guy was giving it on Craigslist for practically free.
It was free.
For practically free. No, it was free. I
All
mean,
it
like
cost-
we just had to like go there and pick it up. It needed two people for
Yeah.
sure.
A little time and
You
gas.
break
and
your
some,
back
some
doing this
elbow
by
grease.
yourself.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I
It
think that's the
is.
furniture game, though. You not buy new furniture unless you really have to, but find
Yeah.
old furniture and then see if you can refurbish it, because usually old furniture is better.
Yeah.
I would
yeah.
agree.
Refurb if need be, but this is a little scuffed up. But you know,
Let me ask you this though. Okay, I've been a new table because the table's easy to clean. But would you get a used couch? Like we got a
Hell
used table.
no.
Yeah, right.
sometimes,
Let's like
yeah.
okay, if you get a used couch, sitting on a couch that's used, it's like, bro, you don't know what happened there. Like you don't know what happened. You don't know what the last owner did. Or whoever else did it that he doesn't even or she doesn't even know.
I had a family member do that before. He picked up this old couch off the sidewalk, and he says, "Oh, it's still a good couch."
No.
And then my dad told him, because it's my uncle, and my dad told him, "Man, this thing smells like piss. Why did you take the?"
Oh man,
Why-
how is
why
that
did you-
not a red flag?
Yeah. And I guess he picked it up because it looked nice. It had nice tiger skin design, but my dad
man.
sat on it and he was like, "Why did you take the time? Why did you go through the trouble to pick this up? It smells like piss."
Hey, wait, time out. What's the name of that Joe Exotic?
Yeah.
He was the Tiger King.
Yeah.
So what he wanted to be Joe Exotic, getting like a Tiger King like thing.
Yeah.
Weird. I don't know.
That
Oh,
was an interesting series, by the way.
I'd never actually saw
Which
it.
I did not
Tiger
fin- I
King.
didn't
I've
finish.
never actually seen it.
Yeah,
Can't
Keith,
say
have you
that I
seen
have. Can't say that I have.
It's interesting.
I saw the entire series
Oh
over
man, so I'll just finish it. We'll see
on
what
a
happens
first
at the end.
date.
Now, on,
Wait. So you saw Tiger King on a first date?
on a Netflix
What
and
the
chill.
heck did she have to say?
Netflix
Did
and
she
chill.
see it before?
Huh? No, we both didn't see it before.
Okay, so it was like good. Okay, what did you buy? What did she think
Yeah.
after it?
Well, I guess I don't know. We didn't really discuss it. All we thought about it was an interesting show, and it was emotionally stimulating because you can't help but hate the bad guy, but then hate the other bad guy, right? Who's the other bad guy? Carol.
Carol
Baskin.
King. Carol
Yeah,
Baskin.
Carol
Carol King
Baskins.
is an artist. My bad.
Yeah,
She's a
So
great
there's-
Far
artist.
away.
Yeah.
there's no heroes in the series. It's all victims
all
and
villains.
villains.
All villains and victims. Oh, okay.
So
So-
that's what's engaging, right?
Yeah,
I
Yeah.
guess that's what makes it different. Because, it's not black and white like hero versus
I
villain
don't think
no
I'm gonna
more.
finish it.
Everybody's a villain.
I'm gonna
Heck, everybody agrees with villains nowadays. Like the Joker. Like everybody
I
agrees with
finished
that guy.
I finished the Joker recently. I was like, oh man, this is
Which one? The Joaquin Phoenix one?
Yes.
Okay.
that was excellent movie.
That's a late watch for me, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. I understand the not to go too deep into it, but I understand the social commentary on it. So if you guys haven't seen it, you
Yeah.
might like it. You might.
It kind of gives you a glimpse of
I-
how many
I-
people were forgotten by the system.
I enjoy Joker a lot.
Hold on, guys. My puppy is in here,
I'll just bring him into frame.
and Aja, come here. All right, Tim's got her, guys. This is my new puppy. My new puppy, Aja.
Look at this. Look at this cute little
Into
puppy.
frame.
It accidentally came here. We didn't want pets on the podcast because they'd be so distracting. But it's so funny. It's so cute, too. Oh, it's time to go back. There you go. Go ahead.
Inside.
That's so cute. Ah, man.
So going back
New puppy's like a new baby. Shitting everywhere, pissing everywhere.
Yeah, that's my first girl. My
It's so
first-
weird because it's like, you think about having a new human, it's the same thing where it's like you got to train him, everything. We've been so used
Higher
to Scout. Scout is Jason's other dog from before. And Scout is like so
He's still
already
here.
used to everything. He's obviously still here,
Yeah.
but he's so used to everything and everyone that he doesn't really bother. And he knows when to pee, when to eat.
Yeah.
It's like he's such a
He'll know where.
a used to it dog.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway,
I wonder if he communicates with Asia and be like, all right, I've been around for a while. And if you want to live a good life in this house, this is what you got to do. You have to make he gives her tips
man.
like you have to
No.
make this cute puppy face so that they'll give you treats all the time. I wonder
Dude,
if
I
dogs
wish-
communicate like that.
Maybe sometimes, but at least in this dynamic, he is frightened by her. So that's what's happening right
chewing
now.
up stuff. I don't know what it is.
What is that?
Gosh, I can't imagine having a new
Coming off
puppy.
the mic real quick.
I can't imagine having a new puppy because it's like I just don't have the patience, But some people treat their pets like actual children, and we're in the sense that it's like, it needs a lot of teaching and coaching, and they do. How old's she now? A pup?
Probably 12 weeks now.
Oh my goodness, such a
11,
brand new
11
pup.
12 weeks.
3 months, 12 weeks. 12 weeks is 3 months, right?
Yeah. Is it? Yeah. 12,
Yeah.
3 months.
It's just really tough, but I can't imagine.
It's a new pup.
oof.
I think dogs grow cognitively way faster than humans, which is understandable because, dogs live significantly less than humans. have a shorter lifespan than humans.
it's
Way
more, it's
shorter.
more. It's not linear. It's
Yeah.
more of like they learn fast.
Yeah. Some people pay a lot of money for their dogs. Some people buy insulin for their dogs.
Dental care for the dogs.
Dental care for their dogs.
Yeah.
Hey, the dental care thing makes a difference though, especially if your dog's up in your face a lot. So I had former roommates that I used to live with. They're engaged now, about to be married. Congrats, Kyla and JJ, if you ever watch this. But their first dog, his name's Calvin. magnificent dog, very well kept, smells very good for the most part, especially when they groom him. The dog would have typical dog's breath, but they would spend money to like clean his teeth. You know how like we go for cleaning at a regular dentist.
Yeah, yeah.
I think they pay for that for a dog. So like the dog would be cleaned, the teeth like in between, or maybe they'd floss it.
I wouldn't doubt that.
Yeah, and then it's like they pay money for that. It's like, dude, wow. I mean, their dog is their baby, their child. They even call them that. So.
Oh my gosh! But they don't have any children at the moment.
Yet.
Yeah.
I mean, they are engaged. They're gonna get married. I'm sure children are down the line.
Yeah, yeah. They're gonna be working on it. Yeah. Interesting.
But I mean, people love their pets.
Yeah, and even for the elderly too, because sometimes when you become old, this is what I've noticed.
Both extremes,
when you become elderly, that sometimes all your family and friends have passed on, and really the only thing you have to live for is your pet.
Yeah. Keith just said, sometimes at that elderly stage, like that's the only thing you live with or live for. It's like your pet. But,
I know. Sometimes all you have is a companion.
Yeah.
You know,
by your side, bedside.
I think we underestimate the value of pets sometimes. You know, especially when like me myself, I don't really have them anymore. I used to have a dog, but that dog was kind of old and it already passed away. Rest in peace. But like having a pet is a really great thing, especially like a dog. I feel like a dog's like a really nice pet because they're just more submissive to you. Yeah. Like a cat's more like fuck it, and plus I'm allergic to cats, so I can't really have a cat. Like cat dander kind of just gets me like itchy over a course of time. It's a genetics that I inherited from my mom.
I see.
So as a result, I wasn't really a cat fan, but I like cats. It's just that I can't have a cat for a pet. I can't be around them for too long without ingesting medication. And it's like, nah, man, I ain't gonna do that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Man.
Well, yeah, man, it's just like pets aren't really my thing like anymore. It's just like I'd like to have them, but also like they're just an added responsibility. And I guess you can have them. You have like 3. Jason has 3 dogs.
Yeah, I have the luxury of my dad's here 90% of the time. He's retired, so it's like he has the time to stick around and care for these pups.
Yeah, when I was a dog owner, I admit that I was a bad master, and because I really just wanted all the good things about taking care of a dog, but didn't want to take any of the responsibility of taking care of one, like taking it to the vet, cleaning up after it, like bathing it, and it is a huge responsibility. And lucky for your dogs, Jason, that they have your dad to look after them 24/7, play with them every day. Right. And it is a huge responsibility. But if I ever got a dog in the future, I would make sure I would treat it like a human being. And I would, I would do all those things that your dad currently does for the dogs.
Yeah. And, I work during the day. So, post work, I'm like here and I take over the, everything else. And it sleeps with me. The pup sleeps in me. Aja sleeps in me. So,
that's
kind of nice. Sleep on my head.
Yeah. And you take care of your dogs because whenever we jam in your garage, we put hearing protection on the dogs.
Yes. Well, maybe you guys will see that photo down the road, maybe on some album liner notes or something. But yeah, Scout. Yeah, it was a cool little cute photo.
Scout's our main mascot right now.
Yeah. Yeah, we put headphones on him.
He's our boy.
He liked it. He didn't take it off. He kept it on there for a good 30 minutes or so. He's like,
yeah.
While we were going hard in here.
If I ever, when the time comes that I have property, I'm going to get a dog for sure to protect the house. And I want a German Shepherd. I think they're excellent dogs. I mean, there's a reason the police use them. I think they're great dogs.
German.
What is it? It's that dog. The police use that dog in the a Belgian Malinois, which looks very similar to a German Shepherd.
Yeah.
And those things jump high because when they jump, they want to they want to bite the dude's arm, the assailant's arm.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Oof. Can you imagine?
man.
Can you imagine the dog's teeth digging into your flesh and you can't escape? Ugh.
Dude, a dog's bite is pretty freaking serious, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty serious, especially like one of that size. I mean, your puppy now, when she bites, it's cute. But fuck, when she gets a little bigger, it's gonna not be so cute.
It's gonna hurt.
Fuck,
It hurts
man.
now.
It hurts. Yeah, it hurts now. Her teeth are pretty sharp.
Yeah.
Teething right now.
Yeah,
Like-
teething right now.
If you had to pull your arm away from a German Shepherd bite or a Belgian Malinois bite, like, would you even want to? Because with the teeth dug into your flesh,
You
if you
tear
try to
up
pull out,
more.
it's just going to
It'll
tear it up more.
It'll tear. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then, what do you do?
Your best. I mean, you would have to maybe try to pry open somehow.
or at least like
Poke its eyes.
maybe do something to get the dog to not bite you,
Mm-hmm.
because I don't know. I can't imagine hurting an animal unless it was like really hurting me.
yeah.
I was like, "Fuck, get off of me, bitch!"
Yeah, I think the appropriate response is an eye poke. All right, just like digging your thumb into like one of its eyes. You know, I'd hate to sound morbid during this podcast, but like if a dog is biting your arm and you need to get your arm free, I think an eye poke is probably the best.
Eye poke, yeah.
defense.
Isn't that what they
Yeah.
tell you to do with sharks? No, they tell you to punch its nose.
Oh
Right?
yeah,
Is that
yeah.
the- is that
if you
the
ever
most
get
sensitive
bitten by
part?
a shark for whatever reason,
Hmm.
you're supposed to punch it in the nose.
Interesting.
You're supposed to. I mean, obviously their eye, but I mean, like in that moment, are you gonna go around the fucking nose
Because
for
it's a
the
little
eye?
long. Yeah.
Yeah,
Big.
the nose is right there.
It's
Just punch
big.
it in the nose.
Yeah.
Well, that's their main sensor, right? As they navigate
Yeah, like
through
they
the water.
sniff blood. I don't know how true this is. This is something like you could look up. Obviously, like like sharks can nail like the scent of blood from like miles away. Miles away. I don't even know how that's possible.
Yeah.
Miles away,
Just
but they if you
sensitivity.
a
No,
drop of blood and it's like they gravitate towards it.
Yeah. They know its presence already.
Yeah, I don't know.
Or so we think. So we've been told.
I don't know how that is. Sharks
So
are
I guess-
crazy animals.
So I guess with them having a super sensitive sensor in the nose, can you imagine punching that super sensitive sensor? It's kind of like getting kicked in the balls.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean that is our super sensitive spot as human males.
Yeah. Number one.
But it's
I'd
not
say.
like we can detect certain females when there's just like, oh, like it's there.
Some people do, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, where it's just like, or it's like, you know, it's not like your dick points to that direction.
Some people do, right?
It's not like your dick is like, oh, okay,
Here it is.
There's a new female.
Yeah. And in their head, the phrase that comes about in their head is that there's a disturbance in the force. And then they turn their dick to that bearing.
Oh my god!
Radar.
I wonder. Imagine if we were humans that evolved like that. Where it's like, oh, new female must mate, and it's just like tractor beam.
You gotta admire female. You gotta admire male dogs, because when they see someone that they want to mate with, they just do it. They're
Yeah.
But I feel like that's true of a lot of primal instinct.
yeah.
Because especially when
Yeah.
you reach that mating age, when I say you as the male, possibly even the alpha male, right?
We're excluding humans, right?
No. Even humans,
Okay.
to some
To
primal
some
degree.
primal degree. Yeah.
You see a female, and it's just like, oh, assuming you're straight, because let's
Right.
face it,
This-
in this culture, you can be anything you want, any pronoun
Sure.
you want. But
Yes.
that's a discussion for another time.
Yeah.
But let's just assume that you're straight. You would go for a female and be like, oh, tractor beam, you know,
Yeah.
you know, like you're
Sure.
totally like
Attraction
locked
is
in and,
attraction. Yeah.
you know, you're attracted to what you're attracted.
There's a whole
to.
science to that. Yeah.
I'm sure there is.
And your specs, if you will. How do we delineate specs? That could be like
Hey, whatever.
certain facial features, hair color,
Symmetry.
symmetry, or lack
Symmetry.
thereof, or body type.
You know, I
Whatever.
argue that symmetry is one of the things that subconsciously humans aspire to have or to mate with, if you will.
Interesting.
I think when a person's face is symmetrical, even slightly asymmetrical, but mostly symmetrical, it's like it's perfect. You won't know it consciously, but you will subconsciously know it. Like, oh, this lady's face is like perfect.
This is the
Why is it perfect? It's because her eyebrows are the same on both sides. This is why women spend a lot of money on eyebrows. Not consciously, I'm sure. They just want it to look good. But, you know,
yeah.
it's the one thing to notice. Their hair looks even from one side to another. But I also kind of like the one side slightly uneven. You know,
that vibe too. Yeah,
I like wavy hair, me
Yeah.
personally. But,
Interesting.
you know, there's something to be said about symmetry. Like, I personally like symmetry. I'm a photographer outside of here. So, like, I like to have as much symmetrical value in my photos and sometimes videos. I mean, even this, as much as possible. But, you know, symmetry is something I value, I guess you could say intrinsically. You know?
Well, if we are stating our preferences,
oh no, delineating all.
Like the top 3 things that I really admire
Here we go,
about
Keith.
women, because that's just the way I swing. No offense to anyone who swings any other way, but like along the lines of what Tim said about wavy hair, I love wavy hair, and I especially appreciate it when women blow dry their hair and then their hair is all like has volume to it. It looks like
Body
But
those.
I think that is,
Yeah.
dude, we're men here. Okay, so full disclaimer, we're men. We don't know anything about doing hair and whatever.
No.
But like, I think women do that. To like, they blow dry their hair because it does give volume a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I remember I used to work with this girl back in my first nursing job. Oh shit, I outed myself. Edit those. I remember there was this girl that I used to work with way back, maybe like 8 years ago now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's 2021. Yeah, 2013. I used to work with her, and she knew that I liked wavy hair, so she waved her hair out.
Did you make that
for
known?
me. I did to her, for a little bit.
Interesting.
She was like an assistant to what I do. So what she would do, like a subordinate is
If you
somewhat
will.
special,
Yeah.
but she's really nice. She's married now and has 2 kids, but at the time she wasn't. And so like
man.
we would she would wave her hair out. It's really, really nice. You know,
Yeah.
and I was just like, wow. Peacocking, if you will.
Ah, yes. That's a
Somewhat.
correct term.
But
That's a correct
peacocks are
term.
males.
Yes.
You know, but she was peacocking as a female.
Yes.
That was
Yeah.
cool.
So then you have the blow dried hair that gives it volume, but it also drives me crazy too when they curl it a little bit and they have those like nice little curls
At the end. Yeah.
or you know,
Those are cool.
throughout certain
I
strands
like
of
those.
hair. Yeah, and then
A
they
little flair,
smell
a little
nice.
pizzazz.
Yeah,
Smell nice,
and they
it's kinda
smell
good.
nice, right? I forgot the third one. I was going to mention 3, but those are the 2 are the only ones that come to mind.
Can you tell that we're straight?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Cute face.
It's
for
like
sure.
it's like being straight is wrong nowadays. You know?
Yeah. Oh man, that's another.
It's like
subject
being
for another
straight
time.
is wrong because like if you say if you're a guy and you like girls, it's wrong. If you're a girl and you like guys, it's wrong. You have to be like somewhere out of the norm to be right.
out of the quote unquote norm. That. Yeah. It's
It's
different
such
times.
a touchy subject, but like this is something that we will probably get demonetized or banned for is talking about transgenderism. So
Okay.
you know what I don't get is like how we could be wrong for calling an actual male-born person a male when they want to be identified as female. You know what sucks about that so much is that like if I right now
If anatomically-
as you see me, I anatomically have a dick and balls. I'm a male. I can grow a beard. I'm growing facial hair right now. You know, I'm straight. I've never, I've only slept with women, never slept with men. I'm full on straight. If I say right now I want to be a woman, I can say that and I can get away with it. It's like I say, Jason, you know what? I want to identify as a female. And there's nothing you can say about it. You can't argue it.
Nothing against it.
Because
I can't deny it.
everybody's going to de-platform you and demonetize you. YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, maybe even TikTok. I don't know. I don't have TikTok. But it's like no matter what you say, no matter what you do, they're going to be like, you know what? You're wrong. that we go with whatever the trans says is right.
Now that's
Doesn't
ingrained.
that suck?
Is that now that's ingrained as a part of not only free speech but what's the word I'm looking for? It's just that's the norm. It's
It's
the new norm.
I think the end result is this. I think ultimately everybody just wants to be respected for whatever their preferences are.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
I don't think that we should shame people for labels. I
No.
think
No,
some people have
absolutely not.
different understandings of things. But regardless of whatever your definitions are of gender, I think the end result is we all have to respect each other and treat each other with respect. For example, if I came across a transgender person, like I would have zero discrimination towards them just because they decide to be a different gender, and that's cool with them because that's what makes them happy. And I would still treat them nicely like I treat everybody else nicely and with respect. But I think it gets blown out of context when these definitions, we shame people for not knowing like true definitions or not subscribing to certain definitions. In the end, we all just want to be respected. So as long as
That's
we
very
achieve
true.
that, then who cares what the labels are?
I absolutely subscribe to that notion where it's like we all just want to be respected and we just don't want to be ridiculed for what we believe in. I mean, how disheartening is it to come across someone or someone, right? Let's say it's like another person, just one person, be like, you think one way and they totally disregard everything you do, no matter what it is. Pizza. If somebody disagrees with the kind of pizza that you like, you're automatically going to be like, uncomfortable with them. And it's like, that's just one light level.
Right.
But what if it's something more serious, sexual orientation? It's like, I respect gays. I respect trans. Like, dude, on a personal level, every person that wants to be called what they want to be called, I honor it and I acknowledge it. I don't, if they're even a biological male, which I've, run across a few of those, but they want to be called she, I will call you she. That's just respect. That's something I just do, whether it's how I was raised or how I grew up, whatever, I just do it. I don't want to have this argument, I just want us to respect each other no matter what we believe, I think that's, you nailed something on the head right there.
With
we just
whatever,
want to respect.
regardless of whatever pronouns you use, right? I think it takes both parties. Like, let's say I misspeak and call somebody a pronoun that they don't want to be called. Well, I think that person who maybe felt offended, and I'm sorry if they felt offended, I think they should come from a place of understanding and understand that, hey, maybe I'm not educated in that respect.
Dude, this beer is really good.
This is the
Freaking
Golden
Golden
Drac,
Drac.
Belgian beer.
We
It's a red ale.
managed to always have a Belgian, or at least like every time me and Jason hang out, we always manage to have a Belgian beer. But this stuff is strong, man. 10.5%
Yeah.
alcohol for a beer. For a beer, this is nuts.
That's because of the high fermentation. I don't know if it's barrel aged. I don't know if they put it in any barrels that have any wine. Previously had wine or any like hard liquor whiskey, but that's pretty strong.
I gotta say, like anything that I know is made with like pure hard craftsmanship or whatever it is, like people who make I was telling Keith this earlier, there are people in England who make nothing but scissors for like years.
The
They're
level
these
of
70-year-old men who all they do in their life is literally make scissors. But they're good scissors. Could you imagine spending $123 for a pair of scissors?
No.
$123. But that's what they charge. But it's a pair of scissors that's literally on back order. That's how good they are. It cuts really well. It's extremely well made. These guys do nothing but make scissors. On the other side of the world, there are these guys who make Japanese cutting knives. All they do,
man.
their entire life. maybe
See,
lightly
guys,
like
this is the
that's
difference.
quality.
This
right
is the
there.
difference when you specialize in something, you can't help but the byproduct of that is always gonna be it's gonna be the best of whatever we do because that's the only thing we do.
Yeah.
Not discrediting and discounting jack of all trades. You know, guys that do a lot of things. What's the idiom there? It's jack of all trades, master of none.
None.
But no, there's more. There's more of it. Do you guys know? You guys can look it up on a search, but there's a continuation of that that phrase where I forget. You guys are gonna have to look it up, but it's not a bad thing to be a jack of all trades. You know,
No,
it's
but
not.
I mean,
all,
there are.
you know.
I would pay for a quality item that makes like scissors and stuff.
Well, that's just a
You
testament
know, like,
to.
I want to buy a pair of their scissors. It's like I think their classic scissors that they've been making for like a better part of 100 years is something like $124.
Yeah,
and I would buy it.
Yeah,
Just because it's like I want a quality item. You know, it's something that's like we forego nowadays. We don't value products like. If we want scissors, we want like the cheap Friskers.
Friskers, Target bought $6,
Walmart, whatever. It does the job, you know.
It won't last that long. It won't
know.
be sharp for long.
Now,
you know?
if you are like somebody who uses scissors in the kitchen, I think those scissors are for you. I think Koreans are really big on that.
Here's the full saying. Jack of all trades, master of none, but oftentimes better than a master of one.
There it is, guys. Thank you, Keith. Yeah, it's. I subscribe to that. You know, I try to be more than decent in all my musical endeavors or skill sets, but I wouldn't say I mastered all of them. You know, I think I'm a decent musician, decent audio engineer. You know.
I just want to know a little bit of everything. I'm one of those people who...
Because you're a learner. You like learning.
I just like
stuff.
to learn stuff about what I'm interested in. Obviously, who doesn't? You know, but I'm interested in a lot of things. Like, for instance, obviously, on here, we do a lot of music. So I like musical instruments, and I like everything related to musical instruments, like amps and pedals and stuff like that. So naturally... I would like to know how they're set up and how they work and blah, blah, blah. But, you know, I want to know what makes them work and what makes them better. So pickup configuration and volume knobs and pots and capacitors and all that stuff. So you start to get technical. So, of course, obviously gear matters to you. But then there is some sort of like horizontal integration to that. So it's like I like cars too. And it's like I start to learn about cars and what makes a car work and how to maintain a car properly. So I know how to rotate tires, change the oil, change the spark plugs, do very basic maintenance because it's just like I like cars. I want to be able to maintain that. And now recently I like cameras. You know, so I want to know all the latest about cameras and firmware and lenses and how to maintain them and how to keep them working. So I think, you know, I know a little bit of it, but it's like if some real master of cameras and cars were to come up to me and be like, you know this, you know this, you know this, I'm like, no, dude, but I know more than the average person.
Yeah.
And that's enough to get me by.
That's the level of pride I take in certain, you know, skill sets that I have. It's like, it's really, at least for me, I mean, I like being that nerd. I think that's why this dynamic, you guys, the band, that's why we get along. It's there's a level of like a nerd like fascination with certain things that I think is cool between the three of us. Just saying, you know.
And the saying that comes to mind when I see all of our skill sets is, you don't have to be an expert at everything. You just need to know enough to be dangerous. And once you know enough to be dangerous, then you can make some pretty cool things. Like, look at us. We didn't go to, well, Jason, you went to school for sound engineering.
For a little bit.
We didn't go to school for music. but we're musicians.
I dropped out, you guys. It wasn't for me. But again, yeah. No, Keith, that's the whole point. It's. Yeah, I mean.
But let me back it up a little bit. What famous musician that you know has actually finished a music course? Like finished and gotten a degree in music or whatever the fuck they give out.
I can't name any.
Right?
Stuart Copeland.
One. Who else is one?
Flea?
Neil
perhaps?
Peart, I think.
Neil Peart? Did he get a degree in music? This is something you guys can YouTube.
Can we look up Flea? I'm just curious because
Flea? No,
Great.
Flea not in the beginning. I'm talking about when they had breakout success.
Yeah,
At
you're
the
right.
time of having breakout success, did these people have a degree in music?
No.
No.
Then in that case, I don't think
I
Stuart
think Flea
Copeland.
went back to school, and he
Yeah.
finished. I think he went to USC.
and currently teaches.
if I'm not mistaken, and currently teaches in his own Flea music of whatever, school of music or whatever. But the point here I'm trying to make is, and this is true of business in general, do you
ahead.
need even a degree to get to a high enough level to make money or to make it
to
popular?
monetize.
Look at John Mayer, guys. John Mayer is the classic example Jason and I constantly cite, where it's like, dude, the guy didn't even finish Berkeley College of Music, which is arguably the biggest school in music, right?
Where's my ID? Where is that shit?
This guy went to Berkeley College of Music, right? John Mayer went to the same school, and the guy didn't even finish and got a degree there, if I'm not mistaken. If somebody would like to prove me wrong on that, please do. But as far as I know, he didn't finish. He went 1 year and quit.
I mean,
And then he went to have breakout success with Room for Squares.
the guy did his homework though, and did, you lock yourself up in your bedroom, you listen to records, you do your homework. You really, to kind of like fast forward the conversation, it's like you combine your natural talent plus hard work, do your homework in your bedroom. You just keep grinding,
Yeah.
that's the end result. It's hard to, and this is another side conversation, you guys, but the big business aspect of a collegiate level education, be it private or UC system here in California, all the money you spend, you can't equate that to the talent plus hard work, put into practice. It almost makes a college degree unnecessary. Obviously, when you have that that sort of piece of paper, the your diploma, your college degree, that's sort of your mark of sort of like, what's the word I'm looking for? If you guys can help me out, it's like that's your that's what you use for battle. Like, that's your proof.
Social proof, maybe like
So,
collegiate proof,
Yeah, I mean,
for lack of a better word. I don't know. Keith, do you know?
you guys.
Nothing comes to mind. Actually, I'm kind of half listening right now because when you mention things like locking in your room and obsessing over your craft, I think of this one YouTube drummer, El Estepario
Okay.
Siberiano.
Yeah.
And then this dude, he like going back to our theory that you don't need to know everything in order to make it big. This guy is super good, and in one of his videos, he even admitted he doesn't even know how to read music, but he's one of the best drummers out there on YouTube. So
That could be said of a lot of musicians. Which professional musicians, and by professional meaning they make money off of it, right? And make a living. That's what the definition of a professional is, right? Somebody who is considered an expert and makes money off of it. How many of those people actually know how to read music that is a pro musician?
yeah,
Can
A
you
lot of them
imagine
just go by
Claudio
feel.
Sanchez of like Coheed and Cambria? I don't think he knows how to read
Does
music.
Paul McCartney know how to read music?
Paul McCartney, does he know how to read music? Ringo Starr, does he know how to read a chart? Maybe he does now. But imagine, I'm talking about when people had breakout success. Like, let's talk about the Beatles in 1964 when they played on the Ed Sullivan Show. Did any of them know how to read music? Let's
Probably not.
Probably not, right?
Their
And it
producer
didn't
did.
even matter.
Yeah.
Do people over there go under the microscope and be like, oh, Paul McCartney didn't know how to read music. It was supposed to be this, or supposed to be this voicing in this guitar, or in this bass, or John Lennon didn't do this. Dude, people didn't give a fuck. There were people at that Ed Sullivan show fainting and throwing their panties towards the Beatles that they had to put a cage so people wouldn't swarm the stage.
Yeah.
Did happen.
Did it matter at
did
that
happen.
fucking point whether or not they knew how to read music? No.
Yeah.
So what's the reason why people go to school for like music? Again, let's cite John Mayer. The guy wrote Room for Squares, which was arguably the first and breakout success of John Mayer and the first album that I've heard of John Mayer that was like fucking amazing.
Great.
But at that moment, did I care that he knew? And I didn't even know he went to Berkeley until you told me years down the line.
Oh, nuts.
No, I didn't even know, and I didn't even care. So what the heck is the point of going to college for certain things? In fact, what's the point of going to college for anything? Right?
I can think of some reasons, at least for music. I know that when I took lessons, that it gave me some sort of affirmation that I was on the right track and that I had accomplished something and that I had achieved some sort of baseline level of skill. So I think that's good. That's what college is good for.
I think it's good for discipline, wouldn't you say, Keith? Like it gives you a baseline level of like, okay, I'm gonna subscribe to the regimen, or like, kind of have a not an internal clock, but like get into rhythm.
Yeah, it helps you achieve consistency because I know that when I'm studying under a certain musician, I am more pressured and I'm more compelled to practice more, set aside some time because I don't want to show up to that lesson.
Okay.
Like saying that, oh, I didn't have time to practice and I'm wasting your time.
Sure. a level of credibility. Yeah.
Yeah, but okay, so there are two sides to this, right? There's the approach that I like, which is I like taking lessons, and I would even consider going to school, but not because I need to, but just because I'd want to. And I think what you get at a music school is a sense of community because you meet other musicians who can teach you certain things because they have understandings of concepts that you just may not have grasped, you probably would not have grasped if you're just studying by yourself. So I think the sense of community is good, and then the mentorship as well from the instructors, because instructors, the thing is with these instructors, what they have that you don't have, and you may be the best musician in the world, but what they have is time. They have experience and they've seen more things than you have.
Sure.
Being an instructor. More than likely, yeah. They probably seen more things that you have. But even if they haven't seen more things that you have, at least they've lived longer and they can impart some lessons that you probably wouldn't learn in a book by reading a chart or practicing on your own. So they have time, and that's what they offer. And so I think that's why these schools exist. It's to provide that mentorship. Accountability is big too.
Accountability.
I think it also offers like a central hub, right? Where it's like all these people can impart their wisdom on new musicians.
Yeah.
And that
there's a social aspect to it.
There is a social aspect.
Which is huge.
I like that, like obviously, when I was younger, I'm 33 now. When I was younger, let's say 10 years ago, 23, I felt like I could do anything on my own. I could learn everything, and I was very ignorant. When you're in your 20s, you don't know shit. Period. End of story. Bar none. If there's any 20-year-olds listening to it, unless you're like later 20s, if you're younger 20s that are listening to this, you don't know shit. Unless it's really different. There's a case-by-case basis. I get it. But if you're in your 20s, generally, you don't know shit. When I was in my 20s, I didn't know shit.
Like what?
But I thought that I knew everything. Dude, I literally thought that I knew my way through life at 21. I was a fucking idiot. In some ways, I'm still a fucking idiot. But the point here that I'm trying to make is, these are 20-year-olds that can still be sculpted while in school, right? You went to Berkeley. You tell us your experience.
I felt... well, very pointed question, Tim. It's at 18, coming out of a private Catholic high school, going straight to Berkeley. That's like one of the only I think the only college that I applied to. I applied to a couple of Cal States here that I had 0% interest in. long story short, I felt like I was learning backwards. I went my first couple of like core learning classes, ear training, you're doing solfege, you're learning harmony. I felt like I was learning backwards. I felt like my ear already knew what it was being delineated on the chalkboard, on the paper, on the screen. And I found it really, really difficult. I also found that there were a lot of like trust fund kids, rich kids that were, I don't know, perhaps paid, maybe their parents paid their way into getting into college. And I found a lot of like students that were not so great musicians. They were just mediocre. And okay, there's a level system. You come into Berkeley, you audition, and you're given a number rating, 1 through 7. 1, pretty crap. You probably could get in. I don't think they accept any ones. I really don't know that fact. Maybe some other Berkeley alum or current students can expand on that. But 1 through 7, I was granted a 4. 4 is pretty average. 4 is pretty good.
I mean, 4 is right smack in the middle.
4 is right
much.
there. I didn't know how to read music. I mean, I could read drum charts, rhythms, but like melodies, big scores with all the, I didn't really know. In high school, I was in drumline and band, and I just kind of, I did well, but I didn't know how to read music. But the bottom line is I immediately felt like it was unnecessary. I didn't get into the major that I wanted. Essentially dropped out. I finished the whole semester, and then over the summer 2011, I went to a trade school to learn to study what I wanted to study, which was audio engineering. But long story short, I felt there was a level of I felt like I was fighting the system. I was fighting a big system, and I felt like I was learning backwards. My ear already knew what I wanted to do. Why do I have to sort of demystify it on paper? If my ear already knows and my heart already knows and my emotions already know what to play and record, why do I need to pay X amount of dollars? My parents' hard-earned money and my grandma's like money, they helped me out. Why did I need to pay for that? So,
I think it's a couple of things, and the reason is I think one of the major themes about school is the theme of trust. Because if you are going to be a professional musician and you are going to be marketing your skills to potential employers, people need that piece of paper as a filtering process to see if this guy put in the work and has the discipline to achieve something great.
Right,
and if so, then yes, we'll hire him. But how else are you going to earn that trust and prove to employers that you are as skilled as you say you are, than having that piece of paper to present
a
them.
level of credibility, right?
Yeah. Otherwise, you're just gonna have to develop a relationship with them over the course of a couple of months, a couple of years, in order to prove to them that you are that skilled musician. But I think what'll earn you that fast track to trust is that piece of paper that shows you graduated from a school like Berkeley.
Damn.
Is it very much a Western thing? Because what happens in the countries outside of the States? Do you guys know? Because
that's a good. I
really don't know.
When my friend from Japan comes in here, I really want his intake on a lot of what's happened in Japan. Like, he's coming on this podcast for sure.
Sweet.
So
it's the same thing.
I would imagine in westernized countries like Japan, maybe South Korea, westernized, maybe Britain, where it's like it'll be something like that.
Yeah, it's the same thing, because if you look at these Asian countries, think about the emphasis that they put on education. And if they just put that much emphasis on education, just think how much they value a college degree.
Yeah. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I think college only gets you really so far in this country, though.
Yeah.
I only say that, college really only gets you so far. I personally think, full disclaimer, we just went to lighting mode because the sun went down. So we're going to be lit for this point forward. Lit! But
Yeah.
I
yeah.
think college degrees are somewhat useless if you think that you can't live a life without them. You know what I mean? Because like I cite this example time and time again where somebody asked me like if you were to do nursing. I cite this example time and time again where it's like, look, I have a friend who does. He works for the Department of Water and Power here in Los Angeles. The guy has 0 degrees to his name. 0. But he got married. He has a kid. He has a house in Los Angeles, which is really difficult right now. And he did it all through working through the government. The Department of Water and Power employees get paid so much money nowadays. They are the highest paid employees for the government right now. And I sometimes think about it in that regard where it's like, dude, if I were to be a Department of Water and Power employee, mostly power because that's where he works, and you know, one of our guys, one of the people we know works for there, Phil.
One of our friends, yeah.
Where it's like, dude, he makes a lot of money on that, you know? So it's like, dude, he might know what's up.
It affords them ventures like real estate, convert, all sorts of side business ventures that you could explore because you make that X amount of money. It's like,
yeah, right.
it's my puppy.
So, come here, pup.
AJ, come here.
Come here.
You can pass her over here. We'll do a little. Here she is.
I think one of the main points that we're trying to convey here is if I'm talking to an 18-year-old or 18 to 22-year-old who still doesn't know what they want to do in life, I think what they need to realize is don't buy into the narrative and really decide if school is for you, because it's been proven that you don't need school to master a craft.
Are you saying if the person in question is like a very studious type, then by all means go ahead, or what do you mean?
I mean, I think if you have a passion for something, I think you should do what you did, which is lock yourself in a room and practice and study as much as you can on your own.
A lot of self-study, a lot of homework on home.
Yeah. And then
it
a lot
helps.
of reflecting, a lot of being inquisitive and having that questioning attitude. I think if you have that, then I think you can make the case that you don't need college. But then if you don't have that and you absolutely do not know where to start, I wouldn't say jump into college right away. I think you should maybe jump into YouTube and do a lot of research.
Well, especially these days, I think the younger millennials and those younger whatever generation that is, you guys are so lucky to have the internet these days. The internet of the late 90s and early 2000s is not the internet of today.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know, Tim, Keith, and I had to do report. We still had to go to the library. We still had to
use floppy disks.
We still had to use floppy. We still had to use
that. Was quite an endeavor, man.
We still had to use the encyclopedia that was paperback. Like, come on, man. Like, are you
floppy
serious?
disks. Look, how many people watching this remember what floppy disks are?
Yeah.
How many people remember? Do you remember what a floppy disk is or was? Do you remember having to go to school and having to put your documents on a floppy disk? Like nowadays, kids can do it off a Google Drive.
Yeah.
Like what's the quickest way to get
email.
something? Like you could do it off your phone, right? You could airdrop. You could airdrop a fucking thing and put it off like your homework, right? Can't you do that now? I would imagine you could.
Yeah.
I would think so. But before we move on to like mediums and how the internet has changed, but if I was imparting more wisdom to the younger generation, I would say do self-study first. Study and practice in your room, whatever it may be. It could be drums, it could be music related, or it could be like working on your car or being a plumber. At least try doing stuff on your own first. And then if you feel like that's not enough, jump into YouTube. I'm pretty sure YouTube has a lot of videos as to how you can fix a leaky faucet, how you can fix your car, how to play a certain part from a famous band, from a famous song. And then if YouTube doesn't work, or if it's not enough for you, get out there and start doing stuff for people. Start playing drums for church, or offer your services
Right,
to
right.
start fixing people's leaky faucets, or if you
Your
want to be a
friend,
gardener
your
or a
neighbor.
landscaper,
Yeah, sure.
just go out there and start offering your services, and you will learn more, and you will learn
There's nothing to it
what's
but
more
to
in
do it.
demand. You'll learn by
Right.
offering your services, you will know what people want, and you can tailor your study and practice to what people want. And then if you feel like that's enough, then maybe you should consider something like college in order to enhance your understanding of things, and where you have that mentorship available to you. But to dive directly into college just because the narrative tells you to, I don't think that that's a wise decision.
I say the same thing to my cousins, my younger cousins, obviously, but sometimes my older cousins, where it's just like, dude, do you really want to like subscribe to the notion that college is everything? Your parents tell you that college is everything, right? Your parents tell you that you should do college because, you know, it's the only way out. And I understand. We are Filipinos, right? We are Filipinos, and as Filipinos, we are told that, oh, college is the only way out. Having an education is the only way out. Being a nurse, being mostly a nurse because we're Filipino, but like having a college degree is the only way to do certain things, you know? When I tell my cousins that you don't have to do college, you just don't have to do college, period. You know, I'm like, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? Do you think that what you want to do has some actual real world application? One of my cousins wants to be a graphic designer. I'm like, yeah, go do it. Do it. But don't go to like nursing school or don't go to like do some BS degree you don't want to do, you know? I don't know. That's just me.
Yeah.
Where it's like every time I tell my cousin something where it's like, dude, is this what you want to do or is this what your parents want to do?
Think about all that time
What
you
you
would
do.
waste doing stuff that you don't want to do.
Yeah. Where it's like, you know, okay, let's be honest here. Let's say we're talking to the next generation. Let's assume our audience is the next generation here, right? What are your parents telling you to do? Are they telling you, please be a nurse? Please be a doctor? Please be a teacher? Please be something where you're not going to be a deadbeat? Whatever they define as a deadbeat is. You know?
Right.
I'm not saying it's one thing or another. They are the ones who define it. They're the world right now. So they're the ones who are defining whatever it is a deadbeat is. You know? To me, they define being a musician as a deadbeat. But that's what we are. Even though I have a job, even though I have all this,
Likewise.
I'm not a deadbeat. You know? I still make money. I still have a legit job. But, you know, all that stuff is irrelevant. You know, because I have I just do music for fun, but it's also like something I really like to do. So for the youth of America, are you doing something that you want to do? Or are you doing something that your parents want you to do? You know, you really have to answer the question, are you doing something you really want to do? Because if you're really doing something that you want to do, there's nobody else that can tell you otherwise. If it's what you want to do. You know? But if it's something because you just don't want to get kicked out of living at home, then I don't think that's authentic to you.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah, think about how much money you would waste. I'm just going to college just because my parents told me I need to go to school or else they'll kick me out. Instead of using that money for studying something you don't want to, you just take that money, invest it in some sort of business, or move out, and then take that money, invest it into a business, and then make it on your own.
Yeah, you know, like you always cite this California burrito guy. You know?
Yeah. Well, that guy
Where it's
doesn't
like,
exist.
you
that's just my idea.
That's a hypothetical.
If I lost
guy.
everything and I had to start over,
Oh, dude.
I would be
tell
the
you?
breakfast burrito boy, selling breakfast burritos outside the Van Nuys courthouse.
Speaking of courthouse, dude, I came home today and I found out that I got summoned to jury duty.
Oh man.
That's BS.
Yeah, there's a high likelihood you probably won't get selected.
Yeah, who do they select? I feel like they just select the people who actually want to do it, one. But then two, people who are actually like available to do it. I'm not available. I have, my job doesn't necessarily pay me outside of work to get it done. So I just can't get it done. So I think I'm going to have enough valid excuses to not do jury duty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully that'll work.
But for people who want to know what the breakfast burrito example is,
That sounds so good right now.
if I lost everything and I had to start over, what I would do is I would take whatever savings I had, invest in a cart that's able to keep my breakfast burritos heated, and then every day I would just go to the store, buy the ingredients for breakfast burritos, which would be tortillas, eggs, bacon, hash browns, and maybe some sausage and cheese. And then I would just prepare it, then wake up early, let's say 4 a.m, the next day, heat them up, cook them, and then I would just camp out outside Van Nuys Courthouse selling breakfast burritos to the police officers, judges, and lawyers that go in and out of that place. And then,
Dude, think about it. You encompass the entire judicial system. The plaintiff, the defendant, the lawyer, the judge,
That are enjoying
the
your-
police officer.
That are
Clerks.
enjoying your
The
breakfast
entire
burritos.
system wants a breakfast burrito.
yeah, and you're
Like,
providing.
I don't think
You're providing a valuable
any
service.
spectrum.
You're providing a valuable service
Yeah.
because, like, how many
Who
people skip
doesn't love-
breakfast?
Yeah.
Who doesn't like breakfast burritos, man? They're so good.
Especially one with avocado, that makes it super Californian.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, if you couldn't tell, we're from California.
Plus like $5 on that one. Sorry, it's
A
extra.
little dog.
See, that's the beauty.
Aja,
that's
stop
the,
it.
Oh, there she goes.
That's the beauty of living in the U.S. You have the freedom to establish a business like that, to start essentially from nothing. And man, like sometimes I wish I could just try out that concept to see how it would work. You sell a couple of burritos for like what, $5 each. If you sell 30 breakfast burritos, 30 times
Yeah.
It's like
You know what?
$150.
150
to
bucks.
those that have the entrepreneurial mindset, even at age 18 or even younger, like that's so commendable. I hope you guys, whoever's listening,
Commendable, indeed.
keep at it. Don't let the older generation and their stipulations and their old mantras weigh you down. Keep at it, because for me, I'm blessed with supportive parents, but they also come from a very traditional background where they wanted me to have a college degree. I went to Berkeley, graduate high school, obviously, but private school at that. Went back to Berkeley to study music business online, but I still don't have a college degree. It's like, to those that have the entrepreneurial spirit, keep going, keep doing your thing.
And Jason, here's a question for you, right? Although you had not finished Berkeley, your music studies at Berkeley, how much of your music skills are in demand right now? I'd say it's pretty high, right?
Very much in demand. I'd
Yeah.
say. Very much in demand. Again, keep to those that have an entrepreneurial mindset. Apply yourself. Don't let off the gas. The three of us are certainly not. So, stay tuned for some cool stuff.
We're going to be putting out some really cool stuff, I think. We're going to come out with some gear reviews, which we're going to film in a week from now. It's Saturday, August, what is it? August 28th. 28th. It's Keith's birthday. How can I fucking forget? You guys wish Keith a happy birthday. It's his birthday.
Thank you all.
Best guy I fucking know. Bar none.
Thank you.
But oh my god. Anyway, main point. It's a week from now. We'll be filming our stuff for some gear reviews. We do like gear. I also was thinking, it's like, dude, like buying musical equipment is such who the fuck's gonna want to do that? Dude, have you guys worked with GarageBand recently? And we all have iPhones. A GarageBand can get you a fucking song pretty quick if you know what you're doing.
It's fast.
It's fast.
You could come out
If
with
you know what you're fucking doing, you could record a song.
You could record
in
a
an
hit.
instant.
You could record a hit in 30 minutes or less.
Or at least something decent. Maybe not necessarily a hit, but something that's like, all right.
No, seriously, hit. I'd say so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe that's something we could challenge ourselves with. It's like, all right, look, we don't have any
challenge accepted.
instruments, but we have an iPhone. Look, people pay for an iPhone on a fucking payment plan nowadays. Let's be honest. You know the one. This dog is in frame. You know the one. Dog, come here. You know the one. Look, you can come up with a song on an GarageBand on your phone. People pay for an iPhone for like 2 years, maybe even more, maybe 5 years. Some people put a payment plan for an iPhone. I think some people are still on a payment plan for an iPhone 10. And an iPhone 10 is years ago. And they're still trying to pay it off.
Everyone makes fun of my iPhone 12 mini. This is the latest and greatest small one. And they think it's like the iPhone whatever of yesteryear. Stop making fun of me. I have small hands.
Hey, look, let's be real, dude. You can still make a decent song off an iPhone 10 if you have one nowadays. We'll prove it.
Off a 7.
In fact, we'll come out with a mini video. Like, keep an eye on our TikTok. We'll make one. Or our Instagram. You know, follow us on Instagram. On what is that? Indescendants on Instagram. We also have a TikTok now. We don't have anything yet. But we will come out with stuff. By the time you listen to this, we should have some stuff.
We will.
So just follow us on social media. But we'll have something, man. Like, we'll prove to you that you can make something off your iPhone.
There are no excuses to the younger... to guys that want to start out making music. The technology is there. I would say 2 decades ago, not so much. It was not impossible. It was impossible on the phone, but now, you can make music off this thing.
Yeah, man,
it's possible.
And not just music, right? We should also
Videos.
we should try to make a music video off of an iPhone as well.
You certainly can.
If Apple would sponsor us, I would be totally down.
Yeah.
But I've done a lot of shit on my iPhone, and I know people personally, closely, who've done a lot of stuff on their iPhone. That's like really amazing.
I really like the iPhone's photo editing capabilities are pretty solid.
I think the latest iPhone 12 can shoot RAW. RAW for you guys who don't know anything.
Off of another
Obviously,
camera?
I'm a camera guy. I'm wearing a Nikon shirt. But like
He
RAW,
shoots Canon.
for like lack of better words, is basically like you can do more with the photos that you take. So you basically take a photo, but RAW, even though straight RAW files look crap in the beginning, you can do so much more with them. Your spectrum is literally this big with RAW files versus compressed files are literally this small. You can only do so much. But again, with RAW files, yes, it looks like this in the beginning, like crap, but you could do this, you could do this, you could do this. Boom. RAW files are a big deal. And I think iPhone is doing such a great job at incorporating RAW files that they're really bridging the gap between, cell phone and camera. Before, cell phone and camera used to be like maybe this big, like even beyond the frame that you can't see me, right? But now it's like this is the camera, the professional grade that I have that I'm shooting these with, and this is the cell phone. Let's say like 2012, 2013, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. It's getting really, really close.
The AI with portrait mode even looks really good. Looks like your like super wide aperture, big aperture professional cameras. It's pretty damn close, with these iPhones.
I'm curious to know when the first wedding will be shot on an iPhone. Because it's like no wedding's been shot on an iPhone. Think about it. But could you imagine the time that
sure it's
comes?
possible. I'm sure it's possible here at 2021. I think so. But maybe it's battery life. Maybe it's professional photographers don't want to. They just it's like you're sort of you're devaluating. You are what's the word I'm looking for? It's like you don't want to be known for that. It's like, oh, you just did it off a camera. It's like, oh, it's just a phone. It's just your phone camera.
Well,
yeah, right.
With all the advances in technology that we're talking about right here, and also along the lines of us imparting wisdom to the younger generation, look at all the tools that are available to you to create cool stuff and to release it into the world. So if you ever complain that minimum wage isn't high enough at your job, Well, there's an easy fix for that, and all you have to do is just hone all the available resources hone all the resources that are available to you, and start putting out cool videos, start putting out cool music, and not rely on a $15 an hour job to try and make ends meet. So I was an econ major, and then one of the most valuable classes that I took was the history of economics. It's not economic history, it's the history of economics. And then back in ancient Greece, I think it was Plato, and I could be wrong, but I think it was Plato who said that, yeah, you should have a job that earns you minimum wage, but you should take those wages and invest it in a little business of yourself so that you can create wealth for yourself. And what that translates to in modern times is, hey, if you're working a $15 an hour job and it's still not enough for you, just use your iPhone, make cool music, make a cool music video, and post that stuff on YouTube until you can eventually work yourself out of that $15 an hour job.
Right. It's, yeah, I mean, these days the resources are there to make cool content. I don't know, Tim. We're the younger generation is so blessed.
Blessed. I think blessed is the right word, because there are so many things to think about when it comes to blessed, and because technology has really shortened the gap, right? I would tell my younger cousins this all the time. I would literally tell them, look, when I was your age, I would have to do a certain amount of things to get the videos that I wanted to see. And I'm sure you know the one. But the point here is, nowadays, you can YouTube certain things. You can go to certain websites, maybe late at night, when nobody else is awake, to see certain videos. You know?
Sure.
When I was my age, when I was your age back then, I had to literally download it off of Kazaa. You guys remember Kazaa? Kazaa, FrostWire, LimeWire. We would literally have to get whatever we wanted to see, music videos to certain bands. You guys remember that? I downloaded the video to Blink-182's Always off of Kazaa.
And
I still have it to this day.
And you'd have to use a valuable hard disk space in order to store those videos. And then computers back then, they only had like a 80 gig hard drive.
It took the words right out of my mouth. A 1 gigabyte computer storage was unheard of, but possible.
Was huge.
But on the upper echelon of society. You can't have a 1 gigabyte
you were balling
hard
back
drive.
then.
You were balling at 1 gigabyte. I remember when I first had a 1 gigabyte. What was it? A 1 gigabyte thumb drive that you can hold on a keychain to your keys, and that was dude, that was flaunting your shit. And nowadays, having 1 gigabyte anything's get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, there's 256.
You don't have nothing.
There's 512. Yeah, there's all.
Just think about this video. This video is going to be 25 gigs or even more. It's going to be maybe 50 gigs.
Yeah.
Well, we're shooting at 1080p for those of you who know, but if we're shooting at 4K, which the
huge,
1080 is still the industry standard. But oh my god, 20 gigs for a video, just for one person, here. Oh my god, it's nuts, dude.
Huge.
Nuts.
Yeah, I think this podcast is pretty valuable. I think, if we have our younger listeners listening to us, hopefully one of them just says, man, I'm glad I found these guys. These guys have a lot of good things to impart to us. And it would even warm my heart if they came back to us, left us a comment saying that, hey, you changed my life by imparting that knowledge to us
or make cool stuff.
Yeah.
Show us what you guys are doing.
Look,
there's so many talented young guys that are killing the game that are even better than the three of us combined.
Yeah.
Let's just be real here.
At our time, when we were there.
Yeah, no. You guys are killing the game.
But the shame is that you have all this goodness in technology around you, and if you don't leverage it and you resort to, I don't know, destructive habits, and you don't take full advantage of all the stuff that is available to you. I think we have some family members and friends who, and not to dampen this podcast, but we do have some family and friends that we kind of wonder what they're doing with their lives, how they're spending their time. And then you look at all these resources that are available to you, you can definitely use them to stake your claim in the world.
Yeah.
You just got to provide for the world, period. You know? Like,
Share
I don't
what
care
got
who
as
you
well.
are or what you are, he, she, whatever. I think you should provide some good value to the world, period.
After all, that's the
You know-
foundation of economics. It's really
Fun.
providing goods
would-
to the marketplace that people want to buy.
Yes.
Sure.
And on a bigger scale, and maybe even on a spiritual scale,
Go ahead, Tim.
I would
Yeah.
argue that providing value to the society is just good for society in general. I think we're onto something really good here with this podcast and providing music. We're about to come out with a new track, you guys, and it's insanely good. Like, I think it's good. I think on a drunk level, it's good. I think on a sober level, it's good. I've been singing all week. I think we have something really good coming up. You know, so I think, you know, if you, as long as you provide good value to the world, you'll be set. You know,
Just share.
People should move towards this dynamic where instead of being a massive consumer, we should be a massive producer.
Absolutely agree.
You know,
The world would change if everyone did that. If
You know,
everyone
I think there's a
provided.
healthy balance between both.
Sure.
But I think, you know, the world is just full of consumers right now.
Yeah.
Where everybody wants to consume something. So us as producers have the advantage.
I
I think to provide a utopian society, we should have a healthy balance. And I think it's just a producer's market right now.
Keith, how much did you learn about supply and demand? Because these days, almost anything and everything could become a commodity.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, that's the foundation of economics, right? Supply and demand.
right.
And all,
Sure.
all you have to
Yes.
do is just supply stuff that people want, and then we'll reach equilibrium, as they call it, or happiness, where buyers and sellers are
Sure.
content. And that's really all you need to do. So everybody, young, old, I would impart to them, hey, just start producing something that will benefit society, because like what Tim said, we'll be happier as a society overall if you provide something good for the world to use. So
Yeah.
that's what I learned about
know what?
supply and demand. And that's what I learned about wealth too, because I was in my younger years, when I was 19, I read Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki,
Yeah,
which
that's
is
a
an awesome
great
book.
book.
And
You
then
guys
one
should
of the
check that out.
one of the lessons that I had learned was, hey, if you want to earn more money, start providing more value to people.
Absolutely.
Now
man.
that's product dependent, that's industry dependent. Obviously there are like actual necessary commodities like water, even coffee. Everybody, almost 99.9% of people drink coffee in the morning to get the day going. I'll drink a cup or two a day. I've diminished it. I used to drink like four or five cups a day. But there's something to be said about art as a commodity. We always want to sort of escape from our world. It's like, we're here to provide art, you guys.
Yeah. So if you provide value to people, value really equates to money, and I think
really does equate to money, man. And it also provides a lot of good things in life for everyone. You as the provider, you as the consumer. 100%.
Yeah, and if you even wanted to cite a biblical reference too,
Go ahead, Keith. Yeah.
I don't know if this is a biblical reference, but I'll go ahead and reference what JFK said. Think not what you can do for yourself, or think not what the country can do for you, but what you can do for the country.
It's not what you can do for you. It's not what your country can do for you, but it's what you can do for your country.
It's a level
Yeah.
of selflessness.
Right?
It's a level of selflessness. It's like,
You're absolutely
What-
right,
what can you
citing
do-
JFK.
what can you do for others?
What can
Yeah.
you do for others?
What can you bring? It's so easy to be selfish. To think for yourself. I'm like, okay, screw everybody else. I really need to act in scarcity and take care of me. But when you take care of others, the level of support. Ouch! It just bit me. There are people that will come to your aid when you're in need. I mean, that's just human nature.
Yeah.
We should not act in scarcity. That goes for a lot of things.
You know, there's this guy. Yes, dog. I agree. There is this guy that we talk about constantly and frequently. And I think you guys know where I'm going.
We all know him.
We won't name him, but there's a guy who acts in scarcity all the time. And there's a guy who claims to he'll be doing whatever the hell he's doing all the time. But oh my God. Dude, this guy, he's on a different level. Man. Like, I don't know what he thinks about his life. I don't even know what he thinks is doing is normal, you know? Like, I think he's just on a level where it's like, dude, what are you doing? You're being such a try-hard and asking people for pity. I think that's the worst. One of the worst forms
guys,
of life.
Misery loves company. Misery loves company.
Oh,
there's
100%.
There's a certain level of there's a comforting aspect of like people sympathizing with you, but there's a level. It's also unhealthy, especially on social media when you get all this love for. Oh, I feel so sorry for you, like. Especially with the opposite sex. When it's like, oh, it's okay. Like, we're here for you.
It's okay. No, man.
Well, certain behavior you can't condone, obviously.
I guess.
This may seem very vague to you guys, but just why would you sulk? Why would you waste mental real estate sulking on something you can't change, or an issue that
something you can't change? I think that's very appropriate. Look, I won't name any names here, but I will say this. There's somebody we've kept under the radar for some time, and this person has been a rather big chap his entire life, and we tried to help them. I even went on walks with them, for a long time.
Keith's cracking.
He's cracking up because
true.
He knows.
It's true.
He knows
I know
who we
this
were talking about. Let's just be honest. Like, all right, I'm just going to let it on the open. This guy, we tried to help out so many times. And no matter how many times we tried to help, and I've lost weight in this pandemic. Clearly I know what to do. Clearly I know what it takes
But
to
you're also
lose
putting
weight.
in work.
And I've put in the work, and I've put in the hard effort and concentration, whatever have you. I tried to get this guy to do the same thing because he had the same, if not similar, goals. To lose weight, and to just be a better version of themselves. I tried to do whatever it is that they wanted to do, and I try to do whatever it is that they think they wanted to do. But basically lose weight. The end goal is the same. Lose weight and do the most you can with your life. Live a better life. But in the end, they were still drinking boba. They were still going to Korean barbecue incessantly without any working out. And really, the main thing here is they don't work out. They don't eat right. They don't sleep right. They still engage in the same try-hard hobbies that they still have. And it's like, dude, what the hell's wrong with you, man? What the hell is wrong with you? And, I reached this point where it's like, I'm good. I think I'm better than I was before in 2020. But you are still where you were back in the early 2000s, I think. Dude, what the heck's wrong with you, man? And it's not like we didn't try to help. We tried to help. We tried to talk to this guy. We tried to steer his mindset right. And when the chance finally came for him to finally subscribe to our notion of weight loss, because me and Keith have done it, he said no.
There's a level of pride sometimes when you it may be a very masculine or a very male thing to be like, okay, I don't need you guys' help. Like, I got this, you know. I'm guilty of that, and any good, I think every good man would is guilty of that. But it's just unhealthy. When you really need help, why would you deny help?
Yeah, but the thing is too, like, I know weight loss for this individual has been a goal for the majority of his life, and
Double-digit years.
yeah, it's like you're on this 18-year weight loss plan, you know, and
More than that.
you would think at the 6-month mark you would have had the courage to ask for help, or you
Yeah,
know, not
there's a
turn
lot of
away help.
there's a lot of outside criteria that may affect that. Like, you're again sulking, you are dwelling in the past, you're asking yourself why. We've all been we've the three of us have all done that. Everyone, those of you listening, you guys, everyone, you guys have gone through that. But you have to get out of the hole. It's just it's for your own good. You guys could shed some light on this. I know, but
Dwelling on the past.
dwelling in the past is not
I think that's
good.
a big one, especially for this individual that we're talking about.
It'll prevent you from progressing forward. So that much,
think so.
weight loss included. Any sort of betterment will go on the back burner when you're dwelling on the past.
Jeebus.
Right?
Look,
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, I think there are a lot of people that need help that don't have the courage to ask for help because maybe they think that asking for help is a sign of weakness,
Sure.
when really it's a sign of strength. Because I am not saying I'm the best or I'm the best example, but I just know that a lot of things started coming my way and started going my way when I had the courage to ask for help. For example, it could be something as simple as if I'm in a class and I just raise my hand saying, hey, I don't know how to do this, even if it makes me look stupid. Like, do you want to look smart or do you want to actually be smart? And I think
Stark
that's what
contrast.
I think that's what holds people back, you know, like, and in the case of this individual, if I was him, I would go to like a life coach or somebody who has the results that I would want in terms of fitness, in terms of dating. And I would say, hey, I'm sucking right now and I need help. Can you help me? And it's just something as simple as that, as being humble and coming forward and having the strength to ask for help. I think that would set him on the right path. But when you think that you have it all figured out and you can do it all by yourself, and I think there's a lot of problems that occur with that kind of attitude.
Yeah, I mean, it stems from pride. Sometimes, a lot of the times.
Pride. You know, at what point do you let your pride down and submit yourself to the fire? It's like, dude,
I'm so guilty.
You
of
can't
that,
be
you
an
guys.
expert at 20 something. You know, once you turn 30, you start to think differently. I'm 33. I'm 3
I
years
just
into
turned
my
30.
30s. And it's just like, dude, the past 3 years have been like, dude, okay, I don't know everything, period. I think I should submit myself to the fire where it's like, dude, I think I should just know a little bit better. So I think I should learn more from people who do know more, period.
Yeah.
You know, when you're 20, I think you know everything. And then it's funny, the further you go into life, you just know less and less and less, period. That's my life experience to this date. Where it's like, dude, I thought I knew everything at 21, like I've said before. But I think, like, the more and more I go into life with every passing day, every passing year, I feel like I just know less. And, you know, it's okay to say I need help. It's okay to say I want to take classes. You know? I don't think there should be any shame. Period.
Yeah. And to be clear about the problem that this individual is facing, this individual is overweight. And I think he's been the biggest that he's ever been. And I think he's experienced no success in his dating life. So, and we've been tracking this individual over the course of how many years, Tim? Maybe like over 10 years. And it's still the same stories. It's still the same
The
stories.
better
of
part
how,
of 15 years, I feel.
yeah,
Maybe more.
same stories about how I'm going to lose weight or how I can't find the right partner. And no, I wouldn't look down on this if it was only over the course of like maybe 1 or 2 years. But damn, 15 years?
Yeah, I mean, I can only speculate that it's attributed to fear and pride. Those two big things. Putting myself in this person's shoes, I would feel embarrassed to seek out help at this person's age. I'd be too prideful to ask for help because being of age, you should know. You should know better, but you did not put your best foot forward. You didn't put your best efforts in. But we all know how it is to sulk. Perhaps this individual is really still sour on that one lost love, and we're diving deeper into more emotional things, if you will. But sometimes it is hard to get out of that hole, get out of that well. It's like, oh man, you were really, really, really keen on this one woman, this one potential soulmate, if you will. But I mean, maybe you guys can continue this thought process of mine. We've all been there. What have you guys done to get out of that? Maybe we can close with that, because that'd be a positive to get out of that, get out of the hole.
I think humility goes a long way. And I'll cite an example. Whenever I go into jiu-jitsu, I'm very fearful because I think to myself, today is the day that I could get smashed.
Get your ass whooped. Yeah.
Yep.
Sure.
And because I have that fear, I submit myself to the fire and says, I'm going to do it. I'm going to try my best. And if it doesn't work out my way, I'm just going to take what I learned today and do it again tomorrow. But with that humility of knowing that you can get smashed, and you will get smashed because
it's training. You can, yeah,
you will get smashed just because that's just part of the game. And then so if I apply that example to real life, you just you approach life, and it could be in dating, it could be in anything. You approach it with, today is the day that's not my day. It could be the day that's not my day, but doesn't mean that I can't try, or that I won't try and I won't ask for help. Humility goes a long way, and I think that's probably the one thing that needs to change for this person.
Now it is easy to dwell. It took me a while to get over something and someone for X amount of years, but in hindsight, man, it was easy. What advice do you guys have for those that are kind of in a pickle, kind of in a hole? What else?
Heartbreaks are just part of the game. Failure is just part of the game.
You have to play. You can't win if you guys don't play.
Yeah,
you guys can't win if you don't play.
I remember in basketball, I would be so afraid to shoot or drive in to the basket, because I told my brother, I was like, oh, but I'm scared of getting packed or getting blocked. And he just simply responded saying, dude, that's part of the game. It's going to happen. But
you're going to get fouled. You're going to
shoot.
get hit. You're going to get fouled. Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
sure.
That doesn't mean don't shoot.
Can't make him if you don't shoot him.
Yeah. Dude, guys, there was a stat on Kobe where he missed like a high percentage on of his shots, but he took all of them. He missed a lot, you guys. He probably missed more than your average, quote unquote, average NBA player. But like, he also made a lot. He took all the shots.
I think he even responded in an interview saying you can't make them if you don't shoot them.
I'm gonna have to look it up.
He made like 3 out of
you guys
20
have you guys have to
attempts.
look. You guys,
I think something like really low.
Oh man, this stat is nuts.
Yeah. Anyway, main point where it's like, dude, you can't make them if you don't shoot them. So just take your shot. Sometimes you just gotta make a 2-pointer, a layup, a dunk.
He
shouldn't go for the fucking like 3-pointer all the fucking time.
He missed 14,481 of his shots. That's a lot of shots for his career, guys.
And how many did he make? What was his field goal? What was his field goal percentage?
No, but the ratio is pretty offset. Like he missed more. You guys can look it up later, but yeah, with a field goal percentage of 44.7. So like he missed more than he made.
Yeah, man.
Oh,
Come on now. It's
Cool.
just a testament of I'm guilty of like not taking the shot in all regards of life, but
Well, as you talk about it here, you kind of put yourself on the record to know that when you proceed with your life from this moment on, that you're going to take your shot.
yeah, I'm 30 now, so like it's a big oh, AJ, why are you biting me? It's I think a little more critically. Now, again, Tim was talking about his year 21. At 21 too, I was trying to do a small business. I was perhaps with the wrong crowd. I thought I knew a lot of stuff, but at 30, I don't know much. I feel like all the stuff that I thought I knew, I don't know anything about. So, closing remarks: you got never stop learning. You know, I'm sure you guys have sentiments to add, but with music, for me, there's a level of fascination. I kind of like not knowing everything. I don't know all the scales. I don't know how to apply all these modal like interchanges with chords.
Really? I think you know everything there is to know about
A
guitar.
little technical, but the childlike fascination that I have with music, I'm trying to apply. Is fun for me. I don't like knowing everything because when you don't know everything, you're in constant you're in constant exploration mode, and I love that. It's like when you figure out something new, figure out that one chord or that one rhythm on the drums or something complicated or some sort of like, you know, way to make music technically when you're mixing it or producing it. It's so cool, you know. It's fun. It's so eye opening. So for me, applying that childlike exploration aspect to it is that's how I want to live life. It's way more fun.
And with that childlike exploration, if I know that when I was a kid and I was exploring certain things, I wasn't afraid to fail. In fact, failure was welcome.
Okay, key point, you guys, for everybody right there. You're not afraid because you're just trying to learn. You're like, oh, that was weird. But I'll change it. I'll figure it out.
Yeah, and that's
cool.
that's the
It's
reason
cool,
why we
guys.
spent like 6 hours practicing just one drum lick. Because
backtrack though, do we need college to tell us that? Do we need to spend X amount of dollars of our parents' money or your
No, man, I really
money?
don't think we should, you know. And again, John Mayer is a classic example. He didn't go to college, but he's so successful. So come on.
Finished rather. Yeah, but yeah, man. I mean, where's my ID? I really did go to Berklee College of Music. Man, Boston is so cool. I'm gonna go back there. We'll go back there, guys. We'll go back there.
We should go back to Boston whenever it is that we
The
get
three
a
of us
chance
will,
to.
and we'll document
fun.
it. We'll show you guys. It's such a historic
Place.
part of the U.S. But yeah.
Hopefully next year.
Next
Yeah,
year.
man.
Yeah.
All right, man. Let's wrap this up. Anything you guys want to say before we go?
I just want to say thanks, guys, for listening. If you've made it this far, Keith and Tim, thank you.
Thanks for putting up with the dog.
Oh, she's been okay. She's teething right now at 3-4 months, still teething. But thank you guys. Thanks for listening.
All right, cool. I don't have anything else to add.
Yeah, man.
Thanks for the birthday wishes, everybody.
Yeah, man. Happy birthday, Keith.
Happy birthday, Keith.
Thank you.
Well, we'll see you on the next podcast. We'll definitely have another one, and hopefully we'll be able to have some guests. I know
Yeah.
we will.
Stay tuned, guys.
Okay.
All right, guys.
All right.
Take care.
All right, guys.
Peace out, y'all. Have a good one. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
If you like this video, then subscribe to our channel right now. Just hit the subscribe button below to stay up to date on all Indescendants content.